What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rant, no hate. So, this is a interview with Hearn. He's being asked about the fight card that's happening tonight. I was going to make this video a couple of days ago. Been super busy. So now I have the opportunity to do it. Let's listen to what Hearn has to say. And we're not going to listen to this whole video. It's like 16 minutes. 16 minutes and 33 seconds. We're going to listen to a couple of things you have to say. I want to point out, and let's just get it.
I take it you've seen Tyson Fury's video calling Joshua a shithouse.
I mean, look, I think Tyson Fury's fighting Manuel Charr, in all honesty. Like, the more I think about it, the more I see stuff. Like, yeah, we've all agreed to work hard on the contracts. Listen, we got the contract last Friday or Saturday, and it was all over the place. Since then, we've had calls, I think, as recent as yesterday, getting it in the right place. And just by his message, I don't know, I don't want to, I think they want us to run out of time a little bit, you know, and we're not just going to sign a contract that isn't in its correct format, isn't in the best interest of Anthony Joshua, and that's not for people to say, oh, well, what they're asking for too much. The terms are agreed, we've agreed those terms. But now we have to go into a position of negotiating with broadcaster. Honestly, hand on heart, I think what Tyson Fury's going to do is, this is taking too long. Now, the fight's in December 3rd. The fight, by the way, can sell itself in 24 hours and sell out anyway. So we're under no time constraints, like it's got to be done today or tomorrow. It's got to be right. We want the fight. AJ's in camp for that fight. But I just, when I see things like that, I liked it when everyone was quiet because I thought, okay, they actually want the fight. And then he comes out today and it's like, I don't know. And then Manuel Charr comes out and says, I'm fighting Tyson Fury on December 3rd.
Check this out. I got to stop it right there. We're going to listen to some more, but I want to bring something up. This is part of what I've been saying to you guys about negotiations. Tyson Fury knows. When everybody hears 60-40 split and 50 split if there's a rematch. Okay, that's fair, yeah. What I tell you guys, that was going to be all he needed to say to get everybody's mind focused on that and not thinking about everything else that comes with the contract. So basically, they agreed to Tyson Fury's terms. But now, with the contract, with everything else that goes with it, this is what I'm telling you guys. They're trying to make AJ look like he's desperate, like he needs this fight. And a lot of you were saying the same thing, but he has to take this fight. If he doesn't, what if he doesn't get this chance again? Do you know how big of a star AJ is? And if Anthony Joshua did what he was set out to do initially, which was fight in December and then fight again and march against lesser opponents on his little tour and all whatever, and then come back, and the plan was to fight Dillian White, and then after that, Deontay Wilder. You don't realize this value in Anthony Joshua's name? The man is a two-time unified champion. You guys make it sound like he's, James Kirkland or something. Like he's never really did shit, but had a couple of fights with some subpar opponents that was, and then, basically, he didn't pull a Chris Algieri and beat Provodnikov, and all of a sudden he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. That's not what's going on here. I told you guys, that was going to be, go back and look at the videos I just made. What did I say? That was going to be all he needed to say for everybody to just forget everything else. And then if the fight don't happen, it's their fault. And all of a sudden, he goes through this whole, he sent the tweet, which I posted in the video, to Anthony Joshua saying, what do you say, Big G, Usyk is bitching. How about me and you get it on or whatever? And basically, Joshua responded like, I don't really do the social media thing, though. Just calm, and we'll if you're really serious about this, then we'll talk offline type of thing. And so now, remember, you have until tomorrow. The next day comes, you have until today to 3 o'clock or whatever. But like he said, then it took him forever to finally send the contract after. He basically, they agreed to his terms, and now he's trying to rush everything. Now, remember the date that we had, right? Anthony Joshua wanted to fight December 17th. Somehow, Tyson Fury just suddenly already had a venue booked for the 17th, right? Then he was trying to get Anthony Joshua to rush. He was trying to get Usyk to rush to come back before he was healed, which is, Usyk said that, he was injured and he needed time for his injuries to heal. So I guess the time frame that was thrown out would be so to make sure he's 100% healed, okay, and that there'll be no type of, injury still lingering around, and, he can train properly, because you can't even spar when your face is, you type of face damage like that. You don't just keep sparring and being, stupid. Got to know what you're doing. But even in that, and we don't know what other, injuries that he may have had other than just his face. Okay, but he was trying to get him to come back. So even though December 17th is later than what he wanted to give Anthony Joshua for whatever reason, well, we know the reason. He didn't want Anthony Joshua to be prepared as best as he could. He wanted a sloppy Anthony Joshua to come in there and for him to annihilate Anthony Joshua, because mentally the dude is not there. You guys with this novice rookie mentality who don't understand, it's not because, he just came out of a fight, he's in fight shape. It's not about the physicality, so it's here, man. You guys are not fighters, so you don't know shit about that. And even though I feel like it's just common sense, but I guess certain things you have to be in that person's shoes, or in those shoes, period, to understand what it's like. But if you just think about things in life that distract you from doing simple shit, where ain't nobody trying to punch you in the face and you got to be defensive and actually in a professional setting. This is professional fighting we're talking about. We're not talking about some bullshit street fight. At the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about. He want to throw something in, like I said, the 60-40 split, the 50-50 split in the rematch. That was enough to get everybody to, those are fair terms, because y'all not thinking about nothing else on the contract. And everything with the networks and all, or whatever's going on, see, they're not speaking about that. Only thing Frank Warren is saying is, that should not stop the fight. I mean, no, it's not about that. But at the same time, they're trying to rush him. So remember, he gave Usyk, he's talking about the 17th. He already had a venue booked. So even if you feel like he had it booked for Usyk, how could you have it booked for Usyk, though? It's obvious Usyk had nothing to do with you booking a venue for the 17th. It's obvious there was no negotiations about it. And the same week, the same interview where they're talking about Anthony Joshua, Manuel Charr name came up, and Derek Chisor's name came up. I believe he wasn't trying to book that for either guy. You got to understand, Fury's a fucking fighter. He knows how things work. And he also knows how to talk, lie, maneuver around, and make things look like, so that's what happened. And no. If he was, look, didn't he take 3 fucking years off? Didn't he last time say, I'm fighting with or without Anthony Joshua? But he wanted to fight Wilder in the 3rd fight. But wasn't he the one saying he wanted to fight twice? With or without Anthony Joshua, he wanted to fight twice to keep active. And we know he was going to handpick some meatballs. We know damn well it wasn't going to be top fighters, and it wasn't going to be because he was injured. It was simply because he wanted to keep active, make some money. He didn't, had two bullshit fights, and then, okay, now who's next? So for Manuel Charr name to come up and Derek Chisora, now we're hearing that Manuel Charr is saying that he's fighting Tyson Fury. So this is what I'm talking about. You guys believe everything that you hear. Now, what I'm saying, this is a guy that's in negotiations with him. He's talking about what they're doing. He doesn't trust what Fury said. No, who really does? Because Fury's always talking crazy shit. Same guy that tell you one thing and then say something completely different. It's just Fury being Fury. This is what I'm talking about. So the whole time we're saying, well, if you was going to fight Usyk on the 17th, why won't you give Anthony Joshua that same date? And especially if you have it booked for the 17th, which came out of Frank Warren's mouth. So guess what? What also came out of Frank Warren's mouth is that Fury told him the 27th of November or the 3rd of December. Pick and choose. But you got the venue booked for the 17th. Oh, well, if he was going to fight AJ, it wouldn't be in that same building. They're talking about Principality Stadium, see? What did he have booked? What venue did he have? This came from his team, not some other source from Frank Warren's mouth. It came, and it also came from Fury's mouth. Let's go. And the fact, Fury's the one with this whole, it has to be, on this particular date. Then, okay, you have until the day. Then after, he's trying to rush. Well, it has to be this. Why is he trying to rush? When you don't have experience with these things, you think that you know what you're talking about because somebody else went through maybe a similar situation and they didn't, express how they felt to say anything, and you think it's, oh, that's normal. No, it's not normal. It's not normal. Okay? You don't buy somebody a Christmas present on Easter. You don't have a Halloween party on Thanksgiving. It just makes no sense. Like, you're not, okay, well, why are you celebrating Halloween on Thanksgiving? Why are you, right? Okay. You do things for a reason. And if it doesn't make sense, your common sense lets you know, nah, something is not right with what he's trying to do. Think about it, y'all. It's not hard. It's not hard to understand. Something's not right. But we hear what Eddie Hearn is saying. So now I saw the video with Phil, Anthony, you shit house, you're not signing a contract and this and this. Look at Errol Spence and fucking Terrence Crawford. We hear one thing from one side, one thing from the other side. One is saying the other didn't sign the contract. The other one's saying that it's the other guy's fault and whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, look, what we don't know, we don't know. But if you look at the actions of what someone is doing, you get it. And if for Tyson, and look, and for AJ, I'm not backbiting on anything I say. Anything I say, I stand by it. I said from day one, I understand why Fury's trying to bait him into trying to fight so fast. And I don't think it's the wisest decision for AJ. Okay, AJ's a brand just like Fury's a brand. And I'm not talking about the zone so much. I mean himself, he's a brand. Okay? Eddie Hearn said the same thing in another video a couple of weeks later. About it probably wasn't the wisest decision, but Anthony Joshua wants to fight and he feel like this may be the only time he gets. But it's like, see, that's that mental, part of that mental weakness. Letting someone force you to make your mind up. No, tell Fury to go fuck himself. Do what you have to do. If that motherfucker want the fight, it'll be there. But he just want the fight and for legacy to be able to say, I fought him, win, lose, or draw. And he don't want people to feel like he's running from him. No, you know what your fucking plans are. Fury is not going to make the kind of money fighting anybody else that he would fighting Anthony Joshua. So y'all believe that bullshit if you want. But do you really think Anthony Joshua could afford another loss? 3 back-to-back losses? I mean, let's be real. That's not a good look. So, him wanting to fight versus being mentally ready for the fight, that's the whole thing. You're letting someone make you, it's like you're driving and shit, right? And the motherfucker drive up behind you just to be an asshole. He can go to any other lane and go past you, but that motherfucker come behind you flashing his light. You gonna move over for him? Or you going, man, fuck this motherfucker. I'm in the middle lane. I'm doing speed limit. If I'm going too slow for him, let that motherfucker go around. And eventually, what do? They go around. Or you on the motherfucker, as soon as somebody flash, you jumping all over. Now the cops pull your stupid ass over because why you just, cop might have been behind you for a while. Shit happens. Shit happens. You're not doing nothing wrong. You where you supposed to be. Right? The left lane is for the passing lane. Instead of the motherfucker going around you, no, they arrogant asses just going to put their lights on and make you move. No, they don't make you do nothing. You choose to move. That's what he's trying to do. We all know that. Let's continue.
What's that?
Shane Fury said yesterday he believes Tyson will fight Manuel Charr.
Yeah, well, there you go. That tells you everything you need to know.
And I saw that too.
We're still moving forward, hoping that fight gets done.
Now, Shane Fury says, yeah, Tyson Fury, I believe he's going to fight Manuel Charr. That's his family. They talk, right? Now, you're talking about fighting Manuel Charr while you're still in negotiations with Anthony Joshua. And again, I always said, I don't believe he thought Anthony Joshua was going to accept that fight. Usyk already told him he couldn't do it because, you know, he had to heal. So, like I said, this gives Tyson Fury room to say, look, I tried to get Usyk. He's scared of the Gypsy King. I tried to get Anthony Joshua. He's scared of the Gypsy King. So, I have to keep busy. I have to take who's there. And of all people, Manuel Charr. And if not Manuel Charr, Derek Chisora. So, do you really think he was looking for a tough fight? No. This is a stay busy fight for him. AJ called this fucking bluff. And that's why he's trying to rush. Now he jumps on it and make this video, call him a shithouse to try to save face with himself. It took him forever to finally send the contract after he did all this, make all this noise about it, right? Well, it was signed. The terms that they both agreed to the terms, but there's other terms on there. You understand? And again, they trying to treat AJ like he's some fucking up and comer that should just be lucky to get whatever he gets. No, that's not how that shit goes. That's not how that shit goes. For somebody that's never had millions of dollars before, you got a motherfucker that you know, go have let his wife go screw the boss of his job or her job or whoever to get that money because they don't care. Money rules everything about them. They have no morals and no principles. But somebody who has it already doesn't mean that you got morals and principles. But you like, fuck out of here, man. I ain't doing that shit. You would be insulted. You probably punched the motherfucker in the mouth for even saying it, and worse. You understand what I mean? So when you say, oh man, but he got to. No, that's your words. He got to. Why does he have to? Now, negotiations have to be right. So they're trying to make AJ like a chump in the situation. Eddie Hearn gets it, and I'm sure AJ gets it. But at the same time, it's like with AJ, it's more like, man, I'm trying to not, you know, I don't want to look like it's my fault. You better believe Eddie Hearn is in conversation with Anthony Joshua saying, look, AJ, I know you got heart. I know you want to fight. We got to make sure things are right. And we need to make sure that you're right. So going in there just to try to prove something to these fans that most of them want to see you lose any fucking way. You know, you got to do things right. We're not going to let Tyson Fury make us do anything. Make sure that whatever decision you make is because you want it. I know that's what the fuck I'll be telling them. Don't jump your fucking ass in there and you ain't ready. And you go in there and get knocked the fuck out or beat from pillar to post because mentally you still stuck on the Usyk situation. How we always talk about like how like, you know, Wilder is always, every chance he get, bringing up that whole situation with Fury, or if somebody talks about it, he'll say one thing, but even if he try to cut it short, he'll still have to mention that he cheated, and you know, I'll take it to my grave. And same thing, it's in here. But when you fighting guys like Robert Helenius, you know, then you know he had a lot. Look, he ain't been in the ring in a while. But what I'm saying, imagine with Wilder, when he got knocked out got stopped by Fury in the second fight, all that shit that he did with Glovegate. Imagine somebody trying to force him to fight somebody, you know, not even quite 3-4 months later. But imagine that, and his mental state. Y'all ever think about that? The state of mind that Wilder was in after he got beat by Fury in that second fight. Now imagine somebody like, oh, okay, Joseph Park, hey, I want to fight. Look, man, you got until such and such to sign a contract. You got until, nah. Imagine the last time he just got stretched the fuck out with that fucking overhand right, and somebody trying to tell him, yo, man, you know, oh, but see, that's the difference. Wilder didn't get knocked out. I mean, AJ didn't get knocked out. Yeah, you damn right he didn't. But at the same time, guess what? Here. You and I can't determine when he's right, if he's right there. We know what we saw. You didn't think he was right after he had that big explosion at the end and how he was. Yeah, we always can see when something's wrong with AJ, but then all of a sudden now, nobody can see it, right? You can't determine if that man is actually ready or not just because, oh, physically he should be ready, but they ain't what we talking about. And if Shane Fury sit up here talking about, yeah, I believe he's fighting Manuel Charr. Okay, where do you think that came from? Media, or you think he's not talking directly to Tyson Fury? Come on, y'all. Let's go.
And ourselves in Queensbury, it's been good. Like, there's no one's, they've done nothing wrong. We've done nothing wrong. We got a contract that we didn't believe was in the right spirit of the deal, and they almost accepted that and made changes, and so we're moving in the right direction. But, you know,
they make changes. We've accepted, they've accepted, right? We wasn't doing anything wrong, they wasn't doing anything wrong, but then they made changes to what? The fucking contract. Like I told you, the 60-40 and then the 50-50 rematch, that's all they needed to say for y'all. Oh, yeah, that's good then. Come on, y'all. It's more, y'all like y'all don't know how much when y'all not acting. It takes a lot to make a fight happen. A lot.
this is a few days in to receiving a contract. Tyson Fury saying sign a contract. It took 10 days to send a contract, or not 8 or 9 days to send a contract. So all of a sudden we want it signed now when it was all over the place. So we'll see. But my gut feeling is Tyson Fury's getting ready to fight Manuel Charr, and this whole thing was just, you know. But I hope I'm wrong.
Do you think there could be a breakdown in communication between perhaps Tyson and the people doing this on his behalf? Because we know obviously George has been doing a lot of the conversations, George Warren. But the way George Warren spoke yesterday, again, I don't know if you saw that, it was that both sides are so happy with the way it's going and everyone's very content. And yet Tyson, that video was barely 10 hours later.
I agree with you. I think that what I'm hearing from George is very different to what we hear from Tyson. Like, you know, myself and George have got, you know, we haven't agreed, but we kind of said to each other, let's just sort of, and despite everybody getting interviewed 100 times a day, no one's bad-mouthed anyone, no one's talked badly about it, no one's done anything wrong yet, everyone's been trying to move forward. So, and then Tyson does that, and that's when I start to doubt what's going on, you know. And I don't think, by the way, that video is coming from George Warren. Like you said, I think it's coming from Tyson Fury, who's capable of doing anything he wants. But the way that I read it is that Matchroom and Queensbury are doing their best to try and make this fight. It is complicated. The Zone and BT still have to get into it, and that's, you know, coming or starting. But the contract's got to be right, and that's what we're all, you know, there's been a number of calls with their team. It's not like anyone's avoiding anyone. There's been a lot of proactive conversations. So myself and Frank and Sean and George and everybody will continue to work away, hoping to get it done. But what we're not going to do is listen to Tyson Fury on Instagram saying, sign the contract, you sausage, and then just sign a contract tonight that's all over the place, that can't even protect his commercial rights of other deals. So it's a huge fight, and it's you know, it's going to take its time, but we're all doing our best.
One more figure.
So basically, like he said, and I the same way. Why the fuck they got like Tyson Fury? He's calling the shots. You do what I say, type shit. That's why I'm like, man, go fuck yourself. You know, we gonna do this right, or we ain't gonna do it at all. And that's where you guys are making it seem like, oh, he has the right to just no, fuck that. If you go for that shit, okay, if you go for that. That's completely like disrespectful, and they try to make it look. Even when you're the A side, right? You've accepted their terms, but at the same time, look at like the simple fact: Anthony Joshua wins and losses. He's an accomplished fighter. He's accomplished more than fucking Fury has done. But Fury happens to be the A side in this fight. But you guys got to look at like you can't look at what somebody else did and say, oh, he should do it because he did it. It didn't make it right. Example, George Kambosos did everything in his power. This is what y'all overlook. He did everything in his power to try to make those stipulations where Devin Haney say, man, fuck that. I'm not taking this shit. And understand, Devin Haney is undefeated. Devin Haney was coming after them straps. He's not in the same situation that Anthony Joshua is with 2 straight losses. You know, and mentally just being frustrated and not where he should be mentally. Plain and simple. Just like I said, I don't think Rolly Romero should fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz because Tank Davis said so. I just think that would be a good fight for him. And if he really is about claiming he's one of the best out there and he can beat all these, okay, prove it. And what did he do? He doesn't want to fight Pitbull Cruz. Fuck what Tank said. It's the reality. But why not? And you can't say, well, why don't you fight him? He already fought him. He beat him. You claim you can beat everybody, but you got knocked out by Tank. So you understand what I'm saying? It's not about because this fighter said it. And that's what Tyson Fury, his arrogance and his ego is getting the best of him in that situation. So the same way y'all felt like, oh, see, he got Hearn and Joshua back into a corner. Checkmate, bitch. Look like he got him back into a corner now. Because with or without this fight, it doesn't fucking break Anthony Joshua. It doesn't break him. And the fact of the matter is, at least Anthony Joshua can say, look, I lost to only the best fighters. You don't see me at this stage of my career fighting a fucking Manuel Charr. You understand what I'm saying? Or Derek Chisora. Now, after the losses, yeah, build the confidence back up, keep active, keep busy. You know, let's see what we can do with Dylan. Let's see if we can get Wilder. Wilder's talking all this shit about how he, you know, remember how he said we don't want to talk about Usyk when he was asked that question? And he said, you know, I got to get past Robert Helenius first and then, you know, get past him and we can talk about any of that. Then he made the comment about Usyk coming after he responded about him coming to the fight to watch and people, oh, he sends a spine-chilling message to Usyk and all this dumb shit. And you know how fanboys are. You read the comments, oh my God, Wilder scared me. He wasn't even talking to me. Oh my God, I almost shit my pants when Wilder said what he. You guys, I'm pretty sure you little fanboy sissies would. Even say some dumb shit like that. The fuck you fear another man for? I mean, but again, it goes to show you, keyboard warriors talk tough, but you scared of some. Even just think of those words. That motherfucker proudly typed in some dumb shit like that. Wilder wasn't even talking to me. He scared the shit out of me. I almost shit my pants when Wilder said that. That was a really chilling message. Like, oh my God, Wilder, he says it and I believe he means it. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's what we got. People have to learn to listen. Now, he's going to mention some things about Wilder because he's going to be asked about some comments Wilder said. We'll listen to that, and then after that, that'll be, you know, all that we'll listen to for that. I could close the video now, but I want to get that part in because that's pretty much something that I could make a separate video about, but I don't want to.
Have you guys kind of had a conversation outside of like contractual stuff saying, look, obviously we are going to ask you, we're going to ask Frank, we're going to ask George, whatever. Have you kind of had a chat outside and said, guys, let's minimise the talk on the actual contract and what's listed, and let's talk about it because we'll get asked. But have you spoke to them and said, let's minimise it?
It's not really. Someone asked me yesterday, what was the problem with the contract? I can't tell you things within the contract that was a problem. It was more the format of that agreement, but I'm not going to go like.
It's literally what we had before with AJ and Tyson last time, where it was just loads of talk, and then when it don't happen, it's kind of just like contract.
We signed that contract for
right.
the Fury fight. People are bizarre that they just forget that
we
signed to fight Tyson Fury. He could not fight Anthony Joshua because of the arbitration. We'd already signed. So we're prepared to sign again, no problems. But it's got to be right. And, you know, again, going back to the communication, there's nothing unreasonable from George and Queensbury at the moment in terms of the process. Not one stage have I gone, well, fuck this, we ain't doing this because they're, you know, everyone's trying, and hopefully it might lead to other fights as well, we never know, but we're not going to just see a message from Tyson Fury on Instagram and say, all right, let's just sign this agreement that would actually may end up breaching his entire commercial agreement. Like, people don't understand that, so, you know, I hope everyone's telling me Fury's fighting Charr on December 3rd. I hope they're wrong.
And mind you, what did he just say? Everyone's telling him, including Shane Fury, saying that, hey, he's fighting Manuel Charr on December 3rd. You heard from Fury and you heard from Frank Warren that he had a venue booked for the 17th of December. And what did he say to Anthony Joshua, according to Frank Warren? That he told him the 27th of November or the 3rd of December. Pick a date. Again, the date changes. You understand what I'm saying? So, if he was going to fight, again, he couldn't have been. You don't book a fucking. Look, first of all, a fight with Usyk is the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing right now, overall. Against Anthony Joshua will be the biggest British fight, okay? Anthony Joshua has no belts right now, okay? So, you don't go book a fucking venue. First of all, like this is a massive fight with Usyk. You don't go book a fucking venue. That's some shit you do when you fighting some subpar opponent. You, okay, let's go grab this. We'll grab somebody right there. Just grab some little meatball that we can fight. You don't go do that shit. You don't do that shit. And on top of that, Usyk is the fucking unified champ of the world. You don't just, no negotiations. Oh, we gonna pick the venue? Nah, that's not what you do in a big fucking fight. Or have you guys you've forgotten that, or you don't know that? You don't just go grab a venue and then, hey, let's see who's available. Eeny, meeny, miny, let's pick that hoe. Simple. You don't do that shit for no fucking unified. You think Usyk gonna go for that shit? Oh yeah, you just pick the shot, call the shots, you pick everything. We have no say-so in nothing. Stop it. Stop it. Manuel Charr will go for that. Derek Chisora will go for that shit. Look at where they are in their careers. You understand? So, come on, man. Stop it. That's not how you do that. So, those dates he picked, pretty much, a fight of that magnitude is not going to get no heavy press. Him versus Manuel Charr or Derek Chisora. Nobody gives a fuck about those two fights. You picking Anthony Joshua or you picking Usyk or Wilder, or, you don't pick. Did they go book the venue for before they fought Dillian White? And then, oh yeah, what you doing, Dylan? We want to fight you. No, they didn't want to fight him. Come on with that shit, man. Y'all know it don't work that way. And that came from their mouths. So when you fixing to try to get your panties in your crack and stuff, but Aries, no but Aries, nothing. Go save your butts for Frank Warren and fucking Tyson Fury, because they're the ones who said this shit. So now he actually gave a date that he's hearing December the 3rd. That he's hearing that he's going to fight Manuel Charr. When you know something is not right, just like somebody overpricing themselves just so they don't have to fight a person because they figure that person going to say what Eddie just said. Like, fuck that, we ain't doing this shit. That's what, in my opinion, from everything going on, that's what I believe the whole situation is. I'm going to give him an offer that he's going to have to refuse. What? He took the fight? That shithouse. Yeah. Just saying. Just like when people was, oh man, I could have swore you just said the 7th or whatever the fuck. Motherfucker, I done heard many dates. Many fucking dates. We only going by what we hear. I didn't have to play this video. I could have just sat here and paraphrased what Eddie Hearn said. But there was a lot of shit to say. Like, I don't go and watch fucking Blue Blood or whoever the fuck else and then come to y'all and say, oh, what's happening? No, I go to the sources. I know how I get my information, and I can only tell you what I hear. But in this very video right here, if I didn't play this and I'm just paraphrasing because he said a whole lot of shit, you got to take your little notes and really I do it in my head. I don't write them down. So it's like trying to remember all this shit. So it's like, nah, let me just let Eddie talk for himself and then I'll just say my piece. Speaking of Blue Blood, I got to get off topic for a second. I can't really watch Blue Blood, man. I watch different just to hear like what's going on. And then I go look into it. And a lot of times you find what people say is not even true. But is it just me? There's like, when he's talking, right? His videos take so long, not because he's giving you information, but he has to do an introduction for every fighter that he names. Once he speak about the fighter for the first time, he'll be like, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV, coming at you with another one. Yo, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get straight into it. It was like, welterweight champion, Errol Spence Jr., gold medalist. He stands 5'10". He's 147 pounds, 73-inch arm reach. And he do this shit for every fight. He be sitting there like, all right, Right? Nah, I had to get on him for that. He does that shit. He's fighting Terrence Bud Crawford, who stands 5'9", 147 pounds, with a 74-inch arm reach. He's a former unified champion at 140 pounds. He's a current IBF. He's sitting there like, we know, man. We know you probably got new subscribed people that's watching the channel for the first time, but that's really like information we don't care to know. Yeah. Anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. But let me let him talk some more.
Just kind of your response, Eddie, to Wilder's comments. Obviously, you said that he wouldn't win a round against Usyk, and he said you're a bit salty.
Salty? Probably am a little bit salty, really, but salt's good for you, you know. I've been reading up a lot about it lately.
Not too much.
Well,
Just enough.
Yeah, I was always told that salt was really bad in your diet, but now people are telling me that salt is actually really good for you.
You should continue to...
Being sarcastic.
I will say one thing. Sometimes I'm a massive exaggerator, right? Because I'm a promoter. Sometimes I say things that probably, like when I say Canelo Golovkin is 10 times as big as Errol Spence, and what I really mean is it's a much bigger fight, right? When I say that Deontay Wilder won't win a round, probably what I mean is he won't win many rounds, right? I actually don't think he will win a round. Like
That motherfucker ain't outboxing
Usyk.
Usyk.
Still win the fight. And when everybody puts out the clickbait, like you lot, right? And this goes for Parsons as well, taking snaps over there for his clout, right? Is you always put out this clickbait stuff, right? And
He beat Usyk. You don't have to knock him out. He ain't outboxing
really
Usyk.
annoying as well. And all you lot, Parsons is laughing over there, right? You're all like, oh Eddie, retweet my post. Oh Eddie, oh, and you want me to retweet a thumbnail of me going, or something like that. Obviously, I'm not going to do that.
Just give me one, though.
Yeah, but obviously, put one up of me looking unbelievable, I'm going to retweet it. Right? But anyway, going back to Deontay Wilder. So I don't actually think... But what I said was, I don't think Deontay Wilder will win a round against Alexander Usyk, but he is always dangerous in the fight and could win the fight. But no one put that bit in. They just said, Eddie Hearn says he won't win a round against Usyk. So, but I really don't think he will win many rounds at all against Alexander Usyk. That's not controversial. It's the truth. He'll get absolutely outboxed all day long, but he could win the fight. I'm not saying he can't win the fight. I'm saying he could, but he's going to get outboxed. What are you looking at?
Of course.
Do you agree with Wilder in the fact that when he does retire, obviously we don't know what's going to happen from here on in, but he said that he is a guaranteed Hall of Famer?
Oh shit!
Oh my god! He said he's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. He's beaten Luis Ortiz, who's about 52. That is the only victory on his resume against an elite heavyweight. I know you lot. Coogan does it all the time. Oh, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying. But the reality is, who has Deontay Wilder ever beaten? Dominic Brazil, who, by the way, like weren't bad, like 5 years ago. I'm not saying that's because AJ boxed him then, like, but he was finished when. Well, and that was a great knockout, by the way. Stavern. I mean, that was an absolute embarrassment. Who else has there been?
Nobody.
Eric Molina, definitely a Hall of Fame victory. Spilker, the cruiserweight that Derek Chisora knocked out in about 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. Mate, that is frightening that he's saying that.
And let's be real. People can hate Eddie Hearn all they want, but here's the reality. The only fucking thing that Deontay Wilder got going for him in terms of people is how many knockouts he has. Against fucking who? That's exactly the fucking point. You mean to tell me people was debating that if Roy Jones should go in the fucking Hall of Fame out of all the shit Roy Jones accomplished, but then they'll say, but you know, Roy didn't have the best opponent. Wait. That motherfucker beat Virgil Hill. He made James Toney look like shit. I mean, outboxed him with no problem. He beat Bernard Hopkins with one fucking hand. He went up to heavyweight, became the heavyweight champ of the world. Now, no, John Ruiz wasn't the best fucking heavyweight in the division, no. But bottom line, he did. So what? We seen fucking Sugar Ray Robinson go up. He didn't go up. He just fought. Was it Max Baer who he fought as a light heavyweight? He fought as a middleweight. Fought a guy 15 pounds heavier than him, and basically Sugar Ray Robinson, they always talk about the skill set and everything, right? Well, they like, but it was so hot under the lights. Well, his opponent was under them same lights. And he basically was trying to go for the knockout. He didn't use common sense to, let me outbox this dude. And no, every punch he threw, he was trying to put everything in it. And he couldn't knock the dude out. He couldn't make him stumble. He couldn't hurt him. He just was punching. And to the point he was exhausted. He had two people, one on each side, carrying him back to his corner. He punched himself out from exhaustion. You understand what I'm saying? So even the boxing smarts of, okay, let me pace myself. Dude is taking my shots. Yeah, I'm not going to just keep punching, and he ain't going nowhere. Let me just outbox him. Fuck it. You understand what I'm saying? So all this, there was perfect fight. No, there was no perfect fighter. There's always something that, and it's not to look for something. It's just you see it and you realize, like, I mean, come on. Why, you're going for the knockout. You're not even hurting this big dude. You're not even hurting him. But you throwing so many punches and just, it's like common sense, man. Pace, relax. Now, if he felt like that's the only chance he had, well, it worked against him. Because I think it was the 13th round. Stopped the fight. He couldn't continue. Punched himself out. But you going to tell me that a Roy Jones, y'all question him going to the Hall of Fame, but because Wilder knocked out all these fucking meatballs? I mean, he knocked Fury down. He lost all 3 fights, in my opinion. But I guess this is the era of time where you just get credit for losing. He looked good getting his ass whooped. Whatever. And it's not even like the fights were so competitive. It's just to be honest with you, what both fights had in common, the rounds that I say he won was the ones he got the knockdowns in. Simple. Wasn't competitive, like back and forth. They sharing rounds. He went around. He was getting beat. Plain and simple. Y'all call that a Hall of Fame career? Well, look, he got the highest percentage in knockouts in heavyweight history. Yeah, well, goddamn, look at who the fuck he fought. That's what you got to understand. Look at who he's fighting. Look at his opponents. And the fact that he's 36 fucking years old and he told Dylan he'll freeze him out for 2 years. It's been way past 2 years and he still ain't fought him. Still ain't fought AJ. It always takes certain fighters to feel like they see holes in a person's game that they think they can exploit. But he's still, because one thing you got to understand, certain fighters, even though somebody might just have their number, but that person know, but I don't fight nothing like that guy. Like everybody keep talking about the right hand. Yeah, that's always his bread and butter. We know that shit. He don't have a bunch of tricks up his sleeve. That's all he has. He either catch you with the right hand flush, catch you sleeping and throw it over top, or he either catch you, follow up behind the jab and catch you with it. Whoever knocked out with an uppercut or a hook. He never hit you. You never seen him hit somebody with a hook, uppercut, body shot, and it's always the right hand. Pause. Why when I start recording, that's when people want to come by. Y'all want to buy some meat? The man selling beef ribs, chicken, fish, always when I'm recording. All right. So anyway, I mean, this is what people got to understand, man. Your favorite fighters are not necessarily the very best fighters. You can assume that because they never fought certain guys that they will beat them, but you guys still make that big mistake. That same, that same fallacy, that ignorance of, well, he can beat him because he beat him and he beat him. I mean, I'll tell you something that would have helped Anthony Joshua a little bit better. Not saying he would have won, but he probably would have. He might have. If Usyk wasn't a southpaw, it might not have thrown Anthony Joshua off as much as he did. Just say it. But does it matter? No, because he is a southpaw. Wilder's not a southpaw. Fury's not a southpaw. Understand what I'm saying? And out of everybody that he's ever fought, my favorite Anthony Joshua fight was with Klitschko. Because this was a fight where, I mean, most people would pick a fight where they look more dominant. But I picked that fight because of the heart, the determination that he showed, the grit, how he dropped Klitschko. He got hurt. He got back up. He got dropped. He got back up. Then he finished Klitschko off. You understand what I'm saying? 11th round. But it was like one of them things where, we going back and forth. But for the so-called boxing experts, they want to try to shit on Anthony Joshua and Klitschko. Oh, he was old. Oh, AJ shouldn't have had. But yet, even fucking Deontay Wilder had the nerve to open his mouth and call Klitschko old. Motherfucker, you fought fucking Luis fucking Ortiz twice. And you got the nerve to call Klitschko old, like Luis Ortiz ain't right behind him. So at the end of the day, it's like, fuck are you talking about? Couldn't just say, hey, great fight, man. No. And that's why I say AJ need to stop being so fucking nice. I'd be like, fuck all them motherfuckers. I feel like how Caleb Plant feel. We in the same division. Fuck all y'all. I want the smoke. I want you to get mad. Do something. And believe me, I'm that dude that you try to get in my face. I'm not going to throw no fake slap. I'm going to punch you. I'm going to break your jaw before the fight. And I make it known. Simple. You want to make it to this fight? Respect my space. You can talk all that dumb shit from over there. You try to get in my face, you touch me, you point, you do anything that I don't like. Anybody who knows me know. I'm punching you right in your fucking eye. I don't care nothing about, man, they're just trying to promote. No. I ain't like everybody else. Promote your shit from your side, I stay on my side. We do the face off, simple. You touch me, you shove me, you do anything. Ain't gonna be no fake, oh, nope. I'm gonna break your shit up. And I got lightning fast hands, so trust me, that shit gonna come. You ain't gonna never see it coming. We got the 3-foot rule. Anybody from the streets know what the 3-foot rule is. You violate that shit, you getting punched right in your fucking face. That's why I don't play that whole, let's make it look like we hate each other, then at the end of the fight we gonna hug. No, I don't hug people that I hate. So we gonna be professional about it. You can talk all the tough shit you want. I know that come fight night, I'm gonna make you regret all that shit you said. Simple. But Hall of Fame career? I don't even think AJ is a Hall of Fame fighter right now. And he's I can say, look, he's a 2-time unified champion. He has some very impressive wins on his resume. So at least he has that, and he did it quick. It's just that, like we said, he was not as polished as he could have been. When COVID hit, especially with all, and he's doing taking the toughest challenges that's there. So I'm not, I'm not, put like this. If Anthony Joshua, because understand something, Usyk is a heavyweight champion now, but he was also unified, undisputed at cruiserweight. So anytime you unify your division, you got a strong case, of going in the Hall of Fame. But he's come up and he's beat Anthony Joshua twice. I'm saying with what Anthony Joshua accomplished right now, he just might go in. I mean, 2-time unified champ, fought nothing but the best fighters that's there. But I'm not going to say it's guaranteed he gets in. He done a hell of a lot more than Fury and fucking Wilder. But even with what he accomplished, if either one of them was to beat him, all right, let's let Eddie Hearn talk some more.
I'm saying, right, with the fights that Anthony Joshua has been in, with victories over Klitschko, with victories, unifications over Parker, with wins over Povetkin, with a rematch against Ruiz, right, I'm saying he's not Hall of Fame yet.
What I just say, this is, yeah.
Hall of Fame is something that really is about longevity. As good as Tyson Fury is, I'm not even sure he goes in the Hall of Fame right now. Like Usyk, I think, does, because he's been undisputed at cruiserweight. He's moved up and become unified at heavyweight. But
and the farthest I saw in this video was when the guy asked him the question about Deontay, and I stopped it right there. And I decided, let me just go back so I could just do this video. That's as far as I went. Now, it's funny. He just said the same things. Now, at the same time, let me say this, right? Let me make my point clear. If Anthony Joshua does go into the Hall of Fame, but let's say if he lost to Wilder, if he lost to Fury, then I could say they'll probably put them in there then. But if he doesn't make it into the Hall of Fame, even if they was to beat him, right? Well, then, if you don't think he's good enough to go into the Hall of Fame, right? They didn't select him to go in. Well, how do you select those two just because they beat him? That means they beat a guy who wasn't as good as, well, that they thought he was, even though he's more accomplished. Think about this. If Ken Norton didn't beat Ali, if he never fought Ali, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Because basically, what did he do? We know how he got the belt that he got. I mean, you can go into all that. He lost it to Larry Holmes. He got knocked out by George Foreman in 4 rounds. He got knocked out by Shavers in 1 round. Like, what did he do that makes him, that put him in the Hall of Fame? If Antonio Tarver doesn't beat Roy Jones, if he doesn't fight, he doesn't go in the Hall of Fame. So it just took one fighter. One. Let's not forget, Tarver lost his very first title defense against Glenn Johnson. Whether you think he lost the fight or not, or he lost against Glenn Johnson. You know, you look at certain fighters and you realize, like, yeah, like, what did they actually, who did they beat to get in there? That's what you got to look at. I mean, I watched them shit on Terry Norris, always trying to say, like, every time when he beat the Beast Mugabe, oh, the Beast was old. The Beast was 30 fucking years old. He beat Leonard. Oh, Leonard was old. Leonard was 34 years old. You understand what I'm saying? He never had the rematch with Julian Jackson, but bottom line, he beat a lot of people. You know, and when he beat these fighters, it was always, oh, they was old, they was old. Terry Norris is in the Hall of Fame. Terry Norris was a great fighter. He made a lot of careless mistakes. And then it got to a point where his chin wasn't as sturdy as it used to be. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you look at the accomplishments, because, I mean, you can't possibly, okay, my point is this. Anthony Joshua is the most accomplished heavyweight in this era right now. He's the most accomplished, bottom line. If he don't make it into the Hall of Fame, how does Wilder make it in there? Even Fury, how does Fury make it in there? Because look at who Fury beat. But look at, even in spurts, how years apart from him to even fight quality guys. Derek Chisora was, you know, look, Derek Chisora is a guy that come to fight, but let's just be real. He's limited. He's one-dimensional. Straight up and down, no special effects about him. Simple. He beat Klitschko. He never gave Klitschko the rematch. I mean, who else? And he just fought Wilder 3 straight times. He beat Dillon. And let's just be real. When you beat a guy, even if they're more accomplished than you, but you beat them, then you were the better fighter. Especially if y'all fought on a level playing field. But my whole thing is, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because it's like, on one hand, if you're saying he's overrated, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Well, then how do you beat him make you go in the Hall of Fame? Because you're going to sound stupid when you say, yeah, but he's a 2-time unified champ. Okay, well, him being a 2-time unified champ and having the best resume in the heavyweight division right now doesn't get him in there. How does he get you in there for beating that same person? You understand? So it's kind of like, all right. I mean, let's let Eddie talk.
Deontay Wilder in the Hall of Fame. I'm baffled.
For real.
And I like Deontay Wilder. I think he's great for boxing. I'd love to give him a load of money. I really would. I've been wanting to give Deontay Wilder tens of millions of dollars for the whole of my life. In fact, that's the one thing I can never understand about Deontay Wilder is I've never met a man that don't want tens of millions of dollars. And even the other day, I reached out to their team and basically said, I would like to give you tens of millions of dollars. And they didn't even reply. So the whole thing baffles me. And now, when you told me that about the Hall of Fame, maybe that's starting to make sense. That they're just absolutely mental.
Basically.
Maybe so, maybe so.
He's got to beat Robert Helenius. Who, I mean, if he beats Robert Helenius, then definitely he should go in the Hall of Fame, yeah. You know? Who's Robert Helenius, who Dillian White won every round against Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius, who lost to Derek Chisora as well.
And got knocked out by Gerald Washington. And the only name he got is Kalnowski.
No, it's a good fight. But what I'm saying is what we were talking if you win that fight, well, you're a Hall of Famer. And by the way, I thought that Helenius might cause him problems, but he's a bit outright with his chin in the air. I think he'll get.
I've been saying that.
inside 5 or 6 rounds. But if it goes 7 or 8 rounds,
Helenius,
it'll be interesting.
straight up and down, fights with his chin up and throw punches out here.
Is it just one of
Okay, so now you talk about Usyk and then we don't even need to hear anymore. Yeah, I mean, this is something to me that it's like people don't get it, man. Every fighter, look, I like Zab Judah as a fighter. Zab Judah is one fighter that showed, even though it's like after he lost to Costa Tszyu, he wasn't the same. Would he been able to beat Danny Garcia before he lost to Costa Tszyu? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you look at him and say he looked like he would have been able to beat. I don't know. He lost to Floyd. You know, he lost to Miguel Cotto. He lost his big fights. And the two biggest wins on Zab Judah's resume is Corey Spinks and Matisse. That's the two biggest wins, hands down, on his resume. Zab Judah was asked after he lost to Paulie Malignaggi. He had another fight after that, and I remember them asking him, why does Zab Judah still fight? He said, because I know I'm still the best fighter in the world. There's no point in time where I ever thought he was the best fighter, period. There was a time that I felt like he was exciting to watch and that, you know, maybe you could put him in the top 10, top 15 of best fighters pound for pound at that time. But I never felt like he was the best. I don't think Zab Judah beat Shane Mosley because I think that Shane would be able to break his will. And Zab Judah just gets to a point, like Floyd called him a front runner. He gets to the point where he stops doing what works. You understand? And it's like one of those things, like he's a southpaw. So I'm going to sit up here and argue with somebody that Zab Judah's the best welterweight or one of the best, well, he's this and that. No. This is what I'll tell you guys, man. It doesn't make a difference. You see when on the community section, I'll put up fantasy fights, who wins and why. I respect people's opinion. You know, I did it a long time ago, and I remember somebody was just talking out their ass the fights they was picking because it was like just the way they were saying the fights would go. We never know, but it was like, really? All right, whatever. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just getting your opinions. But I see a lot of bias shit too with that when I did in the past. The ones I just recently did was more up the park because people were just, you know, whatever. But yeah, and I could and on top of that, the thing is, like I said, there's no wrong or right answer. It's just how you feel. It's just opinions. That's all. But for me to sit up here and tell you, like, oh, if he would have fought Danny Garcia before he lost to Costa Tszyu, he'd have beat him. I don't know that. I'm not even sure I could say that. I believe that. I don't know that. Because, like I said, Zach, against Costa Tszyu, maybe he got his heart taken before it was ready. Because it's like after that fight, he was just never the same. But the heart of a champion will make you, like, you get back on that grind. Because we've seen many fighters lose a fight and come back and they like, nah, we're going to do it again. And then we see other fighters who get beaten and they come back and they like, don't let their hands go. I can't say that. I don't know what would have happened. I can't even say and tell you. I know. No, I don't know what would have happened. But at the same time, I mean, come on. If you're a Danny Garcia fan, you want to sit up here and argue with everybody that Danny Garcia is the best welterweight of this generation? After he then got beat by the very top guys? Or if they fight him again, okay, whatever, man. Whatever. You know, just saying. Deontay Wilder, that he has not had a Hall of Fame career. The most they gonna say, oh, he has the highest knockout percentage in heavyweight history. Yeah, look at his opponents and compare his opponents to every other top heavyweight opponents. And like I said, there are some guys that I like. I don't see Ken Norton the way everybody saw him. Ray Robinson was a bad dude, but I did not see Ray Robinson the way everybody saw him. I saw things that he did. I saw Ray Robinson literally. There was a fight. I forgot who he was fighting. He literally was throwing jabs on his front foot with his back foot up in the air. If I'm lying, may my mom drop dead right now. He was literally doing, and I'm like, people, oh, but he was just showing on. No, Ray Robinson wasn't that kind of fighter. He literally was over there throwing jabs out with his leg up in the air. I've seen Ray Robinson make a lot of mistakes, even like when he throws uppercuts. Just it's stuff that you see and you realize, and people forget as time go on, things can be perfected. People learn, they watch, they study, and No, he made a lot of he was he was a great fighter in his time. He did what he did. But there's no one fighter that I look at and say that person never made mistakes, or they never did something that I think they should have did different. It's not about fighting the way I think you should fight, but you see certain things and you realize, okay. And people stick to their generation. I'm not stuck to no particular generation. Okay, I just see things for what they are, and it's like I'm not. If I see a player I think is better than Jordan, I'd say it. If I saw a guy I feel like was more skilled than Floyd, I'd say it. I mean anything. I'm not gonna sit up here and I gotta stick to the. No, it's not what I do. So, yeah, Deontay Wilder said he's a definite shoo-in for the Hall of Fame. And that's why even the question he asked, like, who the fuck did he beat to get in the Hall of Fame? So, like, when I see, like, a guy like, if Antonio Tarver didn't make it into the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't be like, oh man, if he made it, I wouldn't. Look, it don't bother me either way. But if he didn't make it, I would understand. Because if you look at him, aside from Roy Jones, his biggest win was against Eric Harding, who broke his jaw in the first fight and beat him. And he beat him in the rematch. Antonio Tarver didn't have, look at his career. Look at Ken Norton's career. So I asked, like, who did these guys beat that they end up in the Hall of Fame? A lot of times it's because they shared the ring with one great fighter and they managed to get a win. So this is what I'm saying. There's several fighters I look at and I don't see them the way other people see them. Because I don't look at them from a fan standpoint. I look at them as from a competitive standpoint, and it's like, just looking at what they do, it's like, what to each his own, man. If you think that Deontay Wilder has a Hall of Fame career, then so be it. It's not going to change my fucking mind. And to be honest with you, it's hard for me to pick any heavyweight out this generation and really feel like they were Hall of Fame fighters. I feel like, to be honest with you, like people talk, I hear a lot of fucking people talking about this generation of fighters are way better than the 90s and 80s. I'm like, man, you motherfuckers obviously don't know what the fuck. Y'all don't watch boxing. You basically just from this era and you talking that dumb shit. If you understand heart, grit, determination, let me tell you something. You got fighters. Ray Mercer would give these motherfuckers hell. Fighters that was never world champion would give these fucking fighters hell. And to be honest with you, I think Ray could be any of the motherfuckers that's out there. The only two fighters, honestly, that he might not beat, that's heavyweights fighting right now that he might not beat would be Tyson Fury and Usyk. Maybe. I think he beats the rest of the motherfuckers. A prime Ray Mercer, Evander Holyfield, which one of these motherfuckers would be Holyfield? Maybe Fury, maybe Fury, maybe. Usyk, maybe. Don't look at the fucking old Holyfield that beat Mike Tyson, because that Holyfield wasn't even in his prime no more. I'm talking prime Holyfield. But those two, and to be honest with you, that's maybe. Ain't no guarantee. Ain't no guarantee. But maybe. Which one of these motherfuckers beat Mike Tyson? Which one of them beat Larry Holmes? Just saying. Which one of these heavyweights beats Joe Frazier? Which one of them? If Otto Wallin can give Fury problems, if fucking Steve Cunningham can knock him down and he was a fucking blown up cruiserweight, I'm just saying, are you guys like, which one of these motherfuckers beat Ali? You understand what I'm saying? So when you say, oh yeah, this era of heavyweights is based, what are you basing it on? The level of competition is not the same. So when these fighters that we're looking at right now, we got to be fair and say, okay, in this era right now, this is what they did. And I'm not saying that, your body of work stands out. And you got to look and think, well, out of all these fighters, after Klitschko fought Anthony Joshua, look how many people was like, yo, Klitschko shouldn't retire. because they see that motherfucker still had it. But, he let it go. That was his choice, no problem. Can we say what would have happened in the rematch between Klitschko and Fury? And let me add, that was one of the most boring fucking fights I ever fucking saw in my life. So it's not like Fury went in and just dominated him and had a masterclass performance. No, it was a boring ass fucking fight. That was one of the worst fucking fights I ever saw. So let's not get all hyped. Well, he beat Klitschko. Yeah, he did. I don't know if something was wrong with Klitschko that night or what, or I don't know what it was. But he that fight was trash from both sides. Fury did enough to win. That's it. But was it a great performance? Did he? Absolutely not. No. And this crop of heavyweight, I mean, look, Dillian White was one of the more active fighters. Look at his resume. With these fighters that's out here right now, what he done, but he got near with Fury and looked like shit. So you understand? Certain fights is the style of the fighter. They just can't solve that style. But if you just look at the fights in general, come on, yo. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Just wanted to share this with y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.